Next up is Board of Directors reports, and we'll start with you, Director Berman.
I'm excited for the weekend. Looking forward to another graduation, another fireworks show, and another set of great graduation numbers. That's all I've got.
I like it.
I'm on the same boat, excited for the weekend. I'm excited to get another kid out the house. I don't know if you're allowed to say that, but, you know.
It's on the record.
On the record. He's gonna do awesome, so. And that's it. I'm just pumped up for the weekend.
All right, Director Martinez.
No updates other than kudos to the kids that are graduating and can't wait for Saturday.
Director Wheeler.
Nothing for me today.
Okay. I will try not to repeat. Last week we had spring concerts for, I know, the high school and middle school, because I was at both of those. But always fun, just a good summation of the year. Spring Fling was last weekend, which was awesome and exceedingly well attended. So always good to see the community come out and support. It was Disney, so that helps, because everybody knows the music and all the kids want to come. So, and then the senior assembly was today. I was able to go to that. First time I've been there since Jake's senior assembly, actually. So it was nice to get back to there, and they did a great job of recognizing the students and teachers and faculty. Everybody did a phenomenal job. So, and then look forward to the weekend. So.
I'll go last then.
Oh, shoot, yeah. Go last.
So I heard in that assembly you were nominated and won an award today?
That's the rumor, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So congratulations to our own Ken Riddell, who won the Citizens Award, I believe.
Citizen of the Year.
Citizen of the Year.
Wow, that's great.
Thank you.
And well deserved for all the
Thank you.
volunteer actions you do. I appreciate you. We all do.
Thank you.
End of the year, teachers are working their butts off to make sure all the kids are done for the year, meeting all standards. Communication's been great from the district on all my children, as far as where they are, where they're standing, and now they tell me, do I have to go to school for the last couple of days? Everything's in. And I'm like, well, is it the fun time to be there?
Yeah.
But I have a senior, I think 3 of us do, on the board that are graduating this year. So like has been said, I'm very excited to shake. And I don't know who I'm going to hug and not hug, because I know so many of these kids.
There's gonna be a lot of hugs given out.
Yeah. So, but I looked at the grounds, everything looks wonderful, thanks to the staff for doing all the work, putting in extra hours, and thanks to all the teachers and administrators for helping our kids get to where they are now. So, that's it.
Yeah, good job. Sorry for skipping.
Yeah, whatever.
It was just rolling quick, man. I was just rolling with the tide, so. All right. Next up, item D, district reports, Communications Department, Maggie Kelly and Danny Randall, come on down.
All right, good evening. In
evening.
the communications department right now, we are just focused on capturing everything great that's going on during the last week of school. Tomorrow we have grad walk, we have a field day, we have 8th grade promotion. I just want to thank Josh and Danny for running around with the camera and making sure everything is captured, and Josh for putting on some really high quality live events so that people can watch these events at home. It's always really great to see. I also want to thank Chair Rydell for participating in an interview with a reporter recently about our graduation numbers. It's just always a really great opportunity to tell our story and tell it on a very broad stage. So really proud of the work that's going on here. We are already starting to prepare for next year. One thing that we've been working on is the calendar for next year, just making the visual version that everyone loves to put on their fridges and bulletin boards at home. We want to make sure we get all the events before people start to scatter in July. So we've been working on that, working on some back-to-school communication. I have to say, in my time here, this is the earliest I've seen people starting to ask back-to-school information. We are already getting asked when are open houses, what are school supply lists. So I think people are really hungry for information, and we're just ready to start preparing people for next school year. Some of our completed projects, I know Danny will go into this a little bit more, but it was wonderful to see a really well-attended career technical education night, and it was fun to get that communication out in the community. This year, we have really amped up both our athletics and our arts promotion, just featuring a lot of student voices, whether it's spring fling or a softball game. Just getting out there and showing the cool things our kids are doing has been really fun this year. And we've seen increased attendance attendance and engagement at those events as a result. So it's been a fun project to focus on. We also recently had another Facebook Live with Superintendent Carpenter, just a good opportunity to close out the year with our families, give them one last opportunity to ask any questions, comments, and get clarity around reconfiguration next year. So we're excited about that. And then one other thing I wanted to mention is that we are also prepping for a busy fall athletic season. We are starting to interview a new batch of multimedia interns to make sure we have our football and soccer stadium prepared for next year. We had a wonderful sponsorship meeting today, making sure we're all on the same page about that, and we're excited for the new year. I wanted to cover our RISE committee briefly. This was our first full year having our RISE committee, again, in accordance with state law, but we have really valued the input that we have gotten from them. All the members of the RISE committee attended a lot of different district events this year, from Summer Park Series in August all the way through our CTE night. They were present at events. And our RISE committee members, 2 of them served on our budget committee, and they all served on our wellness committee, which these are things that we need to be in compliance legally, but it's also just wonderful to see engagement from a broader section of our community. So we appreciate the work they've put in this year. And as a reminder for the board, they serve a 2-year term, but we're gonna check in with them over the summer just to make sure they are all willing and able to serve again next year. And if any of them are not able to, we'll come to you with any potential applications. But at this point, we're hoping the full 7-member committee will be back next year. And I'll turn it over to Danny.
Okay, so community engagement is busy. As Maggie mentioned, we've been running around and there's lots of opportunity for people to join in the fun that's happening, whether it's at the end of the school year at the elementary buildings or graduation celebrations. But first of all, I'll mention CT night. Maggie mentioned how well attended it was. We did have it on the Friday before May break, so we were a little concerned that attendance would be low. And as you know, initial community events sometimes are tricky to get people to come, but we had over 60 people there, and we were so pleased with the outpouring, and it's really a testament to how important career technical education is to our community. This gave our community members an opportunity to go into the shops and into the classrooms and see what the students are working on. Students got to show what they're doing in class and the things that they have created with their own hands. And so it was a mix of people that were just curious what we were doing, incoming 9th grade students who were curious about the programs, and then also family members that were able to watch their students have fun. And it was, all the presentations were different with all the different pathways, and it was really neat to see how they chose to present what they're offering to students. We had raffle items, and Barbecue Barn graciously donated some time and funds to help us feed folks. So it was a big success, and we're looking forward to next year. Career Day, I just had to throw that photo up. There was a student there at Rivermill that was able to be Josh for a few minutes, and he did a great job. We are lucky enough to get to join in on that fun as well. So the communications team got to talk to our elementary students about our jobs, but then also the broad opportunities that are out there, and just how wonderful it is to see our community, local community members and businesses that spend their mornings with all of these students. I know it makes a really big difference, and hearing all the things that they want to do when they grow up, and it is awesome that they have so many people there to support them. And Tu was there, the band was right there, and he was doing a great job presenting, so it's great. As we mentioned, graduation events, I just want to make sure the community understands that tomorrow is the grad walk, and that the more the merrier. So line up on Main Street. It starts at 10:30. It's such a heartwarming thing to see all of those students walking through their old buildings and waving to current students, and it's just a lot of fun. So we hope a lot of people show up for that. And the fireworks following the graduation ceremony are at 9:15, so behind Rivermill. Come and check that out. Lots of things on the to-do list for summer, now that we have a little bit of downtime without students, but we are rolling out our park series. You guys have a sheet of paper. Those are our first dates that we've communicated. You're the first to know that we're doing 3 park series events again this summer. It's always a success, and we look forward to seeing students outside of campus and enjoying their last little bit of summer with them and sharing any information that we have. Safe Routes to School is still ongoing, the project with the city of Estacada. We should be looping that, or coming to an end, but we are working with them on more communications campaign. So they ended up getting additional funding through a grant, so they're going to help us with having some clear pathways for students, knowing that this is a busy walkway for student walkers, or this is the ranger trail, if you will, from Clackamas River to River Mill. So we're really looking forward to implementing some creative ways to make sure that our community knows where the high traffic areas are going to be. And just like Maggie said, communication campaigns, we're already talking about next year, and reconfiguration and school times and pick up and drop off etiquette. So the list is long, and we're excited to share with our families and the community.
Any questions?
Questions?
All right.
All right.
Thanks,
Thank you
everyone.
both.
See
Appreciate
you
it.
Saturday.
Good job.
All right, next up, Finance and Accountability Report. Mr. Pillar.
All right, good evening, everyone. First up is the enrollment report. Nothing really new here. You can see in the last 4 or 5 years, similar pattern. I think that we have probably dropped about 60, 63 students from the start of the year toward the end of the year, but that has been a pretty consistent thing for us. It is important to realize, though, the fact that we are growing year over year is really bucking the trend statewide. I heard some statistics the other day that said that the enrollment statewide of K-12 students in public education went down from, in the fall, they do a count in 2025, went down 1%, and that is a consistent drop in enrollment that we've seen statewide in the last 6 years. So really the numbers that we saw pre-COVID haven't rebounded, and lots of people are saying that they're not going to rebound, that this is going to be essentially the new normal. We're losing some students to, alternative education models, but we're actually having an outward, emigration outward. I think that's called emigration out. But anyway, it's heading out of state simply because that buying power of the homes, I mean, our home pricing is pretty expensive, and so a lot of people are just going to other states that are a little cheaper to live with same levels of salary and those types of things, particularly in our demographic, which is essentially young families. So the fact that this is going, at least we're growing, that's a good news. Again, in our budget, we estimated modest growth for both the K-12 district and the charter school. The general fund financial report, as I mentioned in my written report, we did see a bit of a drop, a little bit of a surprise drop for us in that red number, which is the ending fund balance, of the projected ending fund balance. We still have a couple of opportunities to get that adjusted, mostly with the transfers out number that happens in June. We don't do those transfers until we calculate exactly how much, almost down to the dollar, how much we're going to need in order to preserve as much money as we can for a solid ending fund balance, which becomes your beginning fund balance next year. Recall that we're hoping to hit 5.6 million to start the year off next year. So that's an important number for us, and we're going to work very hard to do that. One of the tools that we have to enable us to do that is in your board packet, and that is the budget amendment resolution. This is the resolution that I've been promising for, I think, the last month or so. And it is one, I looked in the history, you do one of these pretty much every year. Many districts do, simply because the budgeting process is so reliant on estimates, and then things happen during the middle of the year. So our district is really no different than that. The format is probably a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. I'll give a little brief overview of that, and we'll put it on the screen when we get down to that action item if you have any questions on it. But what all that does in a nutshell is allow us to transfer a little bit more out of the PERS reserve that we have, which is the special revenue fund. We can put that in here. We're going to work really hard to try and get that beginning fund balance in the general fund up to 5.5. That's an important thing for us to do. 5.6, excuse me. Other than that, in the written report, I had a really good meeting with the charter school. We're aligning the billing system that we pay them based on the revenue that we come from the state school fund. So in the month of May for the June, we're going to do our own May adjustment. So it allows us solid cash flow, maintains our cash flow, but it also gives them a really good idea of exactly how much money they're going to receive. It's better for all sakes around, and I must say publicly that working with the charter school has been a great pleasure. We have a really good working relationship. We're really take a team approach, at least from the financial standpoint of that. So I'm very happy to report that that's going on. And in terms of audit responses, I've mentioned that we had 2 respondents to our RFP for auditing services. Some of our board members participated in an evaluation process of that. We're still on the fence yet. There's no real clear indication of a winner at this point. So we're probably going to push that out, give us a little bit more time and push that out to your general business meeting prior to adopting the contract with them, which will happen in August. Other than that, you'll be hearing from me a little bit later in the current budget resolution, as I mentioned, and then we are having an official budget hearing at this meeting. And so at the end of that budget meeting, at the end of of your regular board meeting, we'll be adopting and appropriating the budget and imposing and categorizing the taxes. So if you have any questions about that process at all, please let me know. That's it. Is there any questions for me?
Any questions for Scott? Scott, is there anything important or need to know right now on the financials that wasn't discussed tonight?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up, Superintendent's report.
All right, good evening, Board of Directors, and excited to be able to celebrate the conclusion of another successful school year inside the Estacada School District. This is the season of celebrations, and you're going to hear tonight from our athletics departments and many things that we can celebrate in those regards. But in addition to that, as Chair Idell communicated, the performances around the district are all over the place right now, from the elementary levels, middle levels, and high school levels, and they've just been fantastic. Culminated ultimately by our graduation on Saturday night. We have already conducted some 5th grade promotions. 8th grade promotion is tomorrow night, and I shared with you all what kicks off the celebration is our adult transitions aging out. And so 'tis the season to thank our families who have been a part of our system for the last 12 years or 21 years in some cases, and it's been an absolute pleasure, and we wish your families the best of luck. As you also noted or saw, the Estacada School District received some considerable positive highlights, being the front page of the Oregon School Board Association's news with our graduation rates and that growth really over the last many years since 2014. And we got a lot of positive just feedback and praise from other superintendents and school districts from around the state of Oregon. And again, this was our goal. These were our expectations that we set out for 10, 15 years ago, and we're starting to really bear the fruit of our hard work. And it's just a tremendous positive praise. Public schools don't make the news often for good things, and so I'm just pleased that the Estacada School District got to contribute to building trust and faith, not only in our own local community, but at the state levels as well. I'm very proud as your superintendent, along with our business manager this evening, to be able to present to you the final draft of our 2026-2027 budget. We're very confident in it, and we're very proud of the work that went into it, which included a lot of community collaboration to make sure that we're being good fiduciaries of taxpayers' money. And I'm proud of the product that we're sharing with you this evening. As your superintendent, I have already begun to externally begin communicating this with our community over the last 2 or 3 weeks. Both Scott Pillar, Maggie, and myself shared our budget proposal that you're voting on this evening on a Facebook Live. We took parent and community questions and were able to respond to everything that our community asked us in regard to the budget and the direction that our school district is headed. I've also had the opportunity in the last 3 weeks to meet with every single employee and employee group internally in our district. So from cooks, custodians, bus drivers, and each and every single building, I've been able to share this budget proposal as well as talk about employee engagement and other cultural factors as we conclude this school year. So I've already been on the streets. I've been out there communicating this to the best of my ability so that we can remain transparent, honest, and move productively forward into the next school year. As we conclude this school year, while that may mean the end of the year for our family and kids and classroom teachers, it is not the end of the school year for the Estacada School District. The off-season summer work begins, and literally the day that all of our employees leave for their summer break is when we go into full reconfiguration mode. And we have a moving company, we have boxes coming, and we are going to efficiently and effectively move teachers who are moving from one building to another, and so on, so that when our employees return, it should be a seamless process for them to move back into their brand-new classroom at their new building. I'm very confident about our plans, and this is going to be the work that's happening behind the scenes this summer to make sure we start next year in our newly reconfigured school district without missing a beat and going right back into high levels of teaching and learning. We also, I wanted to share, because I'm not sure if we shared this last board meeting or not, but right around that time, the Estacada School District became aware that we were the recipient of a 3-year Oregon Department of Education summer school grant. This means for the next 3 years, we will be the recipients of $400,000 each year of the next 3 years to run a very robust summer school program for our community. And because we learned about this just a few weeks ago, as you can imagine, we are scrambling to put together a robust plan that meets the needs of the grant requirements and meets the needs of our community so that we can keep the learning happening and continue to close those gaps. And so we're going to try to get 300 students into our building from June, July, and August to support that. The June months will be focused solely on high school credit recovery, and then the end of July and August will be focused on kindergarten through 8th grade through those processes. So we're scrambling to get bus routes and bus drivers, scrambling to see if there's any teachers that want to hang around for another couple of months and so on. So it's a work in progress, but this is a big win. This grant made headline news because there were a lot of school districts that did not receive this grant. It was a competitive grant, and we won it. And so did several other school districts. But this was a big win for us and our community, and we're excited to do a good job with this grant as we try to offer more educational opportunities for our students. And I'm going to shut it down right there as your superintendent's report because we have a lot of things to cover this evening. So that's your superintendent's report this evening.
Ryan, one thing, I know we've said it a ton, but we didn't say it this time. So can you just really quick run through what the details of the reconfiguration are for next year?
Yep, absolutely. So effectively next year, River Mill Elementary School will be a kindergarten through 2nd grade only educational building supporting our primary students with all of our resources compiled into one building, allowing really better support for our students in all regards. Clackamas River Elementary School will be 3rd grade through 5th grade. Estacada Middle School will remain 6th grade through 8th grade, and Estacada High School will remain 9th grade through 12th grade. And the reason why we are reconfiguring these schools has nothing to do with our financials or for cost-cutting measures. It has everything to do with the capacity load of our schools. And as more families move in, we are running out of space to handle these students. We have been unsuccessful at this time to gain our community's support to invest into additional space for our students to learn in a modern venue. And so because of that, we had to reconfigure our schools to make sure that we had adequate space and even out the load. And just for data purposes, River Mill Elementary School right now has 540 kids inside of it, and Clackamas River Elementary School has just slightly over 400. So that reconfiguration allowed us to balance the capacity load in both of those buildings, But I believe this is really only a 3 to 5 year plan. At some point, we're going to really run out of space. But this is our district's efforts, because at the end of the day, it's our responsibility that pending any type of a school bond investment, the challenge is on us to make this work, and this was our strategy to do so, which had a ton of community collaboration in it and a ton of employee voice inside of that as well.
Perfect, thank you.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Question. Scott, as part of your enrollment report, we used to have one that broke it down school by school, month to month. Can we add that back in if it's not too big a deal?
No, not a problem at all. I'll be happy to do that at your next board meeting and further.
Okay, thank you.
I think on that, what was important for me to see was the delta year over year, or the delta report over report.
Tell me a little bit more about that. I'm not quite sure exactly what
He
report.
has an old
I think I
version of it.
know what
Okay.
you're saying.
It's like the grade level and how many
Yep,
students in each
exactly,
grade level.
and
by
where
building.
it is now versus where it was last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we'd be happy to get that for you.
Ryan, I know that, one thing I think I may be asked I don't go to Harvest Market very often, but when I do go, something I might be asked, about this is, moving teachers, will they have, the teachers that are getting new classrooms, will they have additional time to set up their classroom?
That's a great question. So we're providing 2 additional contract days for those moving to pack up, and then an additional 2 days to move in. So
That's great.
the people impacted will have additional time. Yes. Great question.
Okay,
How many students are graduating with associate's degrees this year from the dual?
Oh,
enrollment
that's a
program?
good question. I think 8.
Okay.
I think 8. Yep.
Thanks.
okay, any other questions? All right, thank you, Superintendent Carpenter. On to reports and presentations, we have the K-12 Social Sciences Instruction Materials adoption, which we're not adopting, but Ms. Gardenhire is gonna come talk to us about it. I'm not saying we're not gonna adopt it, we're just not doing that right now. So, I'm not saying we are adopting it, I'm just saying, we're not making a decision right now.
Okay.
Just
Really
speaking it out there
definitive,
I just,
before you're
man,
there.
man, this is out in the world, I gotta make sure we're clear here.
Oh, thank you. I'm just gonna do a presentation then.
No adoption.
No,
So as you all are aware, the state of Oregon has a adoption cycle for our curriculum. This year, it is the social studies. So we had the opportunity to look at various curricular materials across all our K-12 schools. So this is a process we went through for the entire year. And so I wanted to share what our team has, what our team has recommended based upon their feedback. Sorry, there we go. So a little background, social studies joined us for a new standards training in the spring of 2025. You may not be aware, but Oregon adopted a new set of social studies standards just last year. So we needed to revamp what it was that we are focusing on within our entire social studies continuum. In the fall of 2025, teachers, administrators, and coaches spent time with Jen, primarily going over what those standards were, how that would look implementing them in the schools, and what we want to see for our curriculum and our students across the K-12 experience. In January through April, the teachers chose their top programs that they'd like to pilot, and they got to put them into the classroom, see how students responded, provide feedback. Then in the spring, we had an opportunity for parents and community to provide feedback on those top picks. And so today, I am bringing forth those recommendations. For elementary K-5, the recommendation is the Discovery Education Social Studies Essentials and Experience. This platform will support our ELL and Integrated Language for All program. So we'll be integrating those into those across the K-5 experience. In middle school, it was the TCI History Alive platform. This platform was elevated because of the interactive learning experiences, as well as the ability to support full inclusion for our K-8 students. And then at the high school, there are 2 recommendations, which we have Imagine Learning, Traverse U.S. History and World History, so those will be for the history courses. And then the government, it's the people, the citizens, and the Constitution. This is, again, aligned to the new social studies standards, as well as ensuring that students have access to high-quality materials, and really highlights civic engagement, inquiry, and problem-solving as the core components of these curriculum. In addition to social studies, what I wanted to present is also the SB 141, the Accountability Act that was passed last year. And this is a new requirement set forth by ODE to ensure that our students are making growth across time. And so that requires an interim assessment to be provided to all students K through 8, 3 times a year. Within that, we have decided to go ahead and apply the same set of requirements K-12. So it is not a requirement K-12, but in Estacada, we've decided that's best for our students. And that the data that is collected in those 3 interim assessments will be brought forth and presented at a board meeting, and to make student growth public and be able to hold that accountability that meets that state requirement. There are 4 different platforms that were elevated by the state. We took a look at all of them, and the MAP assessment was the one that was selected for Estacada. We've used it in the past. It is also the one that is most aligned with what we are currently doing and really will support our ability for continuous improvement in the classroom. And that is the end. Questions, comments, and input?
I have one.
Sure.
You may not know, but the 3 tools within the social studies curriculum that are chosen, are they already integrated with Canvas?
Yes.
Okay, so they don't build like a ClassLink external, it's integrated?
No.
Great,
Yep.
that was it.
That's a good question. Any questions? All right, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, next up, spring sports updates. Mr. Andy Mott, come on down.
All right, thank you guys for having me tonight. I did have some kids lined up, but they are coming a little late, so.
They
as
were here
normal,
and left.
So, yeah, what's that?
They were here and left.
Oh, they were? Oh, of course. That's usually how it goes, but just kind of finishing up a great spring season. We had a great senior assembly today and gave out a bunch of athletic awards, so keep your eyes open on our page. We'll hopefully get those up tomorrow so you guys can see our winners for all of our academic and scholarships and all of those awards. So it was a great day today as we kind of finished up. And also, before we get into this too, on Monday night, we did a kind of end of season coaches meeting with about 31 coaches across our high school. That involved all of our high school coaches and a lot of their assistants, just to kind of recap the year and kind of break down and kind of prepare ourselves for next year. So it was great, good stuff for sure. So yeah, it was a historic spring for sure. I think we had 5 teams make the postseason, go on to the playoffs, which was excellent. A lot of our great programs. It might be the. Oh, there's Connor. Come on up. I told him 7:45, so sorry. You're doing the last 3. I wrote them on there. So boys tennis this year, led by 2 of our seniors. Really young team though, so good future ahead for them with the boys tennis program. Our girls tennis program, Bethy Rossos took over our program this year, which is a big jump start for them. It had been a great program before, but she kind of really kick-started that and got it rolling. So exciting stuff in the future for our girls tennis program, including our numbers. So I think in the future that's going to be a really strong program for us. Esports, which was new this year, so some of you maybe aren't even aware we have esports, but it is an OSAA sport now where our kids compete in Smash Bros and Mario Kart. So it's great great for a lot of kids that don't do athletics. It gets them something, keeps them out of trouble after school. And they even made the playoffs this year, which is pretty cool. And they played kids from all over the nation in live action games and things. So, and next year's gonna be epic. Baseball. This was definitely a historic season for baseball. It had been about 10 years since we had made the postseason. So finished third in league, and then had the highest, or went farther than any teams in our league. And really had a great season with a young group led by our 3 seniors, and then a young group of kids, which for a bright future. And the JV team had a great record as well, so I would say the future for baseball looks great, and they made it to the quarterfinals this year. All-league awards for baseball. We had some first-team all-league players that were selected by the Tri-Valley Conference, Davin Olson and Caleb Shireman. Some second-team all-league, Dane Carpenter, Davin Olson, and Grant Carpenter, and then honorable mention was Caleb Shireman at pitcher. So some good honors there. We have not heard of all-state stuff yet for any of the things, so still some more maybe honors to come that we don't know about. Track and field program, again, very strong in numbers. We had 7 kids that made it to the state track meet. A couple kids that placed very high at districts, including a few that won districts. Sam was first in the shot put and the discus, Sam Astonin. And Paul Abels was second in the shot put and the discus and the javelins, and he was actually the athlete of the meet in the throws. And then we had a couple other kids. Shanley Colby went to state, Ren Sue, Miette Putnam, Maggie Garrett, and Lyden Stone, who all went to state and competed. And then jump ahead, I was off on my slides. Our results at state, we had our hurdler Lyden got 7th in both hurdle events. Maggie Garrett was 5th in the triple jump, and then Paul was 4th in the shot put, and Sam was 3rd in the discus. So some kids that placed at state, which was awesome. Pop back. Slides are a lot of order. Another good season for softball as well. We were 2nd in our league. 5th time in the last 6 years we've made the playoffs. They broke the school record for home runs this year with 15, and had 9 girls that got all league. They won their first round playoff game and then also made it to the quarterfinals as well. Some all-league awards. We had some first-team nominations: Laney Briones, Mackenzie Truhecki, Emily Yost, and Ashlyn Bunyard. Second team: Bella Allgaier, Harley Vader, and Sammy Klein. And then honorable mention: Jency Hunter and Madison Seal. Already hit track. Girls golf this year was a growth for the girls program. We had 2 first-time golfers, smaller in numbers, but the girls still had a good season. Had a lot of fun, and also had a couple girls that are excited to come back and really hopefully grow the program. Boys golf, we placed 2nd in the Tri-Valley, so definitely a historic season for our boys golf program. Oh, here they are. You guys are good.
You want us to join you?
Sure, come on up. You guys can introduce yourselves. All right. Our boys golf placed 2nd in the Tri-Valley League, which led them to the state tournament. I think it's been 15 years since we've been to state in golf, and obviously our program was gone for a little while and has come back, but extremely successful season for them to go compete, and a lot of those guys are returning, which is great as well. You want to do this one?
Yeah.
On the next one, so the all-league guys. Go ahead and introduce yourselves, you guys.
I'm a stalker. You want to introduce yourself?
Oh yeah, I'm Camille Speed.
I'm Connor Kendig.
Sorry we're late.
My boat broke down.
We're actually early, so.
That's good though. That's good. So we did have some all-league awards for golf. Peter Winkelpleck was first team all-league. Connor Crawford and Mason Webster were second team, and then Parker Trujillo was honorable mention. You want to do this next one? Because you know your choir. You can talk about choir and band.
Yeah, choir and band. Oh, I'm not sure. Anyways, choir and band. We were district champions this year, which, well, we're so good, guys. Anyways, we placed 2nd at state, which I think is the highest that we've ever placed. And our band took 3rd place at districts, but they were still really good. They're always good. Anyways, let me click the next one.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
I think this was our 3rd season of flag football, right? We had a first. We hosted the Her Game at the Hedge tournament, which 8 teams came, which over 500 spectators, and the program's first college scholarship offer. They finished mid-conference in a league dominated by 6A schools ahead of Malala.
Yes.
That's right.
like always. We welcomed 15 first-year players and achieved several program milestones, including the longest play from the scrimmage, 66-yard touchdown, in the first defensive pick six.
Ooh, awesome.
You can skip it now. Boys volleyball, this is third year too, right? This is the third year of doing it. Building on it last year when they won it all. They had a strong season again. They finished second in the league and ended up taking third in state. They earned multiple postseason honors, including first team all-league selections for Isaac Crandall and Ethan Myers. They continue to be a leader in Oregon's growing boys volleyball landscape, representing Estacada with pride and competitive excellence. On there.
Oh, sorry. I tried to whisper. We also received the Sportsmanship Award, which was really cool for our team to get that. So we have a nice, if you go by the trophy case, they gave us a really nice thing for that as well at the state tournament. So.
This is me still? Oh, sure.
Yeah, it's all.
All league awards, first team all league was Isaac Crandall and Ethan Myers. And then honorable mention was Cody File, Xander Holsey, Darius Alcutt, and Abraham Stalkup. Yeah, you skip it. This one? Okay. I've actually been to OSET a lot, and I feel like it's a pretty, not really everyone sees it as other sports, but I can say it's really fun, 10 Estacada athletes and 2 Corbett athletes competed this season. 8 which qualified for state and 3 advanced to regionals. I think regionals, it switches every year. One year it's in Redmond, the next it's in Timbuktu in Washington.
I don't think that's good for you.
Been there, done that.
Emery Smith led performance events. Avery Vaughn led timed events, and Ava Brown earned the most team points. Sorry.
Hey, you want me to do this one?
Sure.
Okay, our unified sports, kickball. We hosted a 4-team tournament this weekend on the softball field at 10 a.m. That's very specific. Taking on Wilsonville Park Rose. I'm totally gonna mess this up.
Platskanai.
Perfect. Yes, very successful year for Unified, and our numbers continue to grow with that as well. We had, the next few slides, we had some kids do a signing day. So we had 5 students that are going to take their pursuits on to the next level and compete in college in either athletics or arts or music. And so we honored them at an assembly when we did our spring sports assembly here at the end of the year and had them come down and their families, which was pretty cool. And so we'll just kind of pan through these. But the first was Michael Snyder, who's going to Hawaii Pacific. Who's that guy? Henry Rydell, heading down to North Texas for commercial music, which is really cool. Ian Franks going to Warner Pacific to play soccer. Libby Myers going to Pacific to play lacrosse. And Harrison Spence, who's going to wrestle down at Southwest Oregon Community College. So, yeah, those are our kids that are moving on. Camilla, do you want to say anything about tennis or anything? I know I skipped over your slide. But
No, you're good. I mean, it's been a great year, I think, for tennis especially, just because so many new people are trying it out. The boys' team is a little small, but the girls, we've had a lot of freshmen join, so it's been a good year for that sport, I think, especially since it's a decorum sport. It might not be very popular, but it just shows that the kids are trying new things, so I think that's good.
We didn't have a slide either, but we should have. But the middle school track team this year. So last year, I think we had about 55, 60 kids on the team, and this year that number was over 100. So our middle school numbers continue to grow for athletics as well, especially on the track and field, which that was a huge boost, which is really cool to see. But yeah, it was a great spring. If you guys have any questions for the students or myself about any of the spring or things heading into next year. We already have a lot of teams training and getting ready, summer baseball, summer basketball, football. You know, you name it is already rolling and getting ready for the fall. So, yeah.
How many sports does Estacada offer now?
We have 15. So, yeah.
Across all the seasons?
Across all the seasons, yeah. The spring is definitely the biggest. I think there's 7 alone in the spring. So, yeah. And actually, I think 17 overall sounds actually, now that we've added a couple things. So, yeah, lots of opportunities.
We had a baseball tournament at the same time the Unified Sports had the kickball tournament. And I can say without a doubt, there was more energy and excitement and happy people playing kickball than on my baseball team or anywhere around. Like, something would happen and the whole place would just start rocking. And like my kids, it was in the morning and you couldn't even wake them up. It was terrible.
Yeah, if you have not been to a unified game of any type, soccer, basketball in the winter, we host multiple games across the seasons, but or the kickball tournament. We don't have as many, but the kickball tournament is a big event. You got to come out because, like you said, the basketball games are the same way. It's great. So
It was awesome.
yeah, we did actually, I think I told you guys, we did a staff, not staff, but we had the high school team play with the unified team at one of our assemblies. And it was in front of the whole student body, and it was like the best assembly we've had. It was amazing. Yeah, it was loud. Yeah.
That was a good assembly.
All right, any other questions, comments? All right, great
Good job,
job,
guys.
students.
All right, thank you guys. Thanks for having us.
Okay. All right, so. Oh, I'm missing that. I think we're a little out of order here. This should be down here, right? Okay, so we're gonna go,
It's right on here, though.
is it on there?
Sorry,
On the
but
G?
It's right online.
got missing from the narrative.
Hold, please. Okay, discussion, which we have none. We are gonna open. Yes, okay, thank you. So at this point in time, we're gonna open the budget meeting. So, do I need a gavel in the budget meeting?
Yes.
I do, okay. So, we're gonna open up the public hearing for the budget meeting. Do we have anybody signed up?
We do not.
Does anybody in the audience wanna talk about the budget? Okay. Budget meeting's closed.
Right.
We've all talked about it plenty. Okay, so hearing of citizens for action items only. We have none. Okay, we're on to the consent agenda. So the consent agenda includes a package of one or more items to be voted on as a unit. However, if any board member is not in favor of one or more agenda items and prefers to take a separate action, request of the chair anytime prior to the vote, we'll move that item for separate vote.
I have a question on a piece of the consent agenda,
Okay,
and I don't know the appropriate time to ask about it.
do you want to remove something
fair.
to discuss
To
it
vote on.
separately?
Yeah, can we just remove the staff report and ask questions on it specifically, or is now a time to ask that?
It depends. I can answer questions about the staff report in general. I cannot answer questions about specific people.
Nobody's involved, but it's a position,
Okay,
so.
go for it.
Forestry specifically.
Yep.
So I know that we're the CTE, and I maybe should ask, Ms. Gardner to speak to this when she was up. Forestry CTE position, it says we still have a vacancy to fill.
Correct,
And that's a new program to us.
correct.
And I've been getting some asks from the forestry folks and the ag
To do
folks.
it?
No.
Go ahead, kid.
I can
Yeah.
There you go. Get kicked out.
Just wondering about that program specifically. I know that the ag people are being moved, or the ag teacher's being moved out of her classroom, and so that's a point of contention with some, and I just wanted some more information, so.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer both of those questions.
Okay.
So it is true that we're adding into the budget an additional career technical education pathway program in forestry due to the demand from our community and an improved high-wage, high-demand opportunities that are coming through that particular pathway. We are in the process of a search for finding a highly qualified and certified teacher for that. One of the things that makes it difficult is we're not only looking for someone from industry in that area, but someone also with a certified science degree, so we can dual credit it as a natural science course for graduation and bridge connections to pathways. Recently, we've interviewed 2 candidates, and I'm unsure of the status of that process, but inside that interview process, we had 2 people who are strong supporters of the program in the interview process as well to help us with that decision. And it went very well and was very productive. So that's a work in progress, and we will have a teacher named when we find the right candidate for that to start next school year.
Was the offer made to put it under the ag umbrella? Because I
No.
know that there's a lot of small school districts that do it that
Yeah,
way.
it wasn't. It's its own standalone space, separate from agriculture.
Okay.
Yep.
And is that just something that we decided to go that path?
Yeah, that was really from the urging of the community and the advisory groups that we've been working with. And because we wanted to do more, almost more of a manufacturing process with mass timber and some of those opportunities, in addition to some rangeland, soil resource, stream resource, and all of the above. But we had felt like in our decision, which was again aided by our advisory groups, that we felt like the agriculture program is on a steady course and doing great. And instead of adding to the capacity of that program, we wanted to hire a different person and take the natural pieces of that and move that in a further direction, but entirely separate.
Gotcha. And then last question, I think. So the forestry is kind of just the big umbrella, and so there's going to be the wood manufacturing or wood sciences.
Yep.
I guess we could bucket it. That would be under that as well.
That's correct.
And with the hopes of maybe like a construction tie-in or spin-off. Am I reading that right, or is that?
Yes,
the cart
yes
before
and
the
no.
horse?
I'll need help on defining construction, but our intention is if you think about like solder timber and some of those companies that are moving into town and that we can connect with, I see us trying to build a pathway to put kids more on the manufacturing floor, not like building houses or things of that nature. And then we're also in the process of working with nonprofit partners to build, like, I believe it's called like a timber rodeo course or sports arena where, we can utilize either the timber, Ranger Woods, or that upper left-hand corner, that's kind of the corner that has the timber, and try to use some more logging and forest restoration and some of those things. So those are kind of the two, but to say that is a 5-year conversation. We're going to start an introductory course next year and try to fill it with kids and then ultimately build in that direction.
Perfect.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
So question 2 about the agriculture movement. And so we have, through student data, have made the determination to move DCLA back on campus next year, which is our alternative program. And one of the caveats that we wanted to do is still keep that building separate, but under closer supervision and administrative support, as some of those things were falling through the cracks down at that location, as well as just student achievement and making sure that kids had the academic supports that they needed. And so we need to move them back. We didn't necessarily want them to be back in the main high school hallways proper. And so we identified where the current agriculture building is as the sweet spot for relocating that program, as it's close to restrooms and facilities and a whole lot closer to the CTE programs, which a lot of those kids are embedded in. And we run shuttle buses so that kids can come back into there. So the proximity of the CTE programs was a nice location for us as well. And so because of that, we're repositioning our agriculture program just to the classroom, and if you walk into the science hallway in the first left-hand corner. We're going to punch a door in that classroom so there's direct access to the greenhouse in that area. It's one of the largest classrooms that we have in any of our buildings proper, and that one's pretty confined and crowded as there's things everywhere in that classroom. And so we do think that this will provide more space. I know that change is difficult, and we're working through the change process of that, but I truly predict 12 months from now, it will be fantastic, and we'll make sure of that.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yep. Great questions.
I don't need to pull that off the consent agenda. My questions are answered.
Perfect. Okay, so I still need a motion on the consent agenda.
Chair Riddell, I move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded. Insert discussion here, which we already had. Any additional discussion on the consent agenda? All right. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Carries?
Okay, now we're on to item K, correct? On to item K, for the social sciences, adoption.
Chair Rydell, I move to approve the committee's recommendation to adopt and purchase the proposed K-12 social sciences instructional materials as the district's official social sciences curriculum and MAP as our interim assessment.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any additional
Only
discussion?
discussion is, I don't mind that we're going back to MAP, but it is a lengthy
Yes,
assessment.
yes,
I don't like that for kids.
I agree.
I understand why we're using it, because there's familiarity to the district and it aligns with standards, so that makes sense. It's just a really long test.
Yep.
It's literally the
No,
number.
we agree with
Yeah.
that. We've, in our prior time using it, we've experienced some of the pros and cons of that. Another pro that I really like about MAPS is its communication to parents
Yeah.
on where kids are
It
at
is
in their
Yeah.
growth and how we can compare ourselves to other people who use it across the country
Yeah.
in terms of that norm. But I agree with you. I also have, we also have concerns about some of the high school exams. Not that they're controversial politically, but just the ninth grade vocabulary
Yeah.
test, things of that nature. There have been prior questions of the relevancy of some of those things, but this is to put us in compliance with state law, and we liked this option out of the other there were only 3 options that the state of Oregon even allowed us to pick from, and so this was our best choice.
Yeah, I mean, lastly, sorry, I mean, the teachers get the ability to chunk that out,
Yes,
as best as they can,
Yep.
as they see fit with their other instruction,
Yeah.
would be great, so.
absolutely. And
How
3 times a year is a lot.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
long are the tests?
It depends on the test, but it usually takes us about a week. In my prior experience with this, it burnt about a week of testing and administration. Yep.
We do it in our org, front to back, if they do it and sit down, it's 45 minutes to 60 minutes that they're sitting in front of a computer taking
Yeah.
this test. Doesn't seem like a long time, but
Yeah.
it is.
Yeah,
When
with
you're-
our bell
you're taking
schedule,
away
with our bell
instructional
schedule, it breaks into chunks, but
It's good practice. I
it's
mean, we've got
perfectly
an
fine.
alumni sitting for a test tomorrow that's 4 hours to get their
Absolutely, yeah, no,
certification as an
yeah.
electrician. It's-
As is its good college preparation in terms of timing for that, and absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
Does this SB 141 come with the, like, state mandated, participation requirements and all that?
Different, nope, that's for SBAC, which is the end of the year test, which we're still going to be required to take, but I guess I'll just say this as honestly and candidly as I can. Because there is not a lot of faith at the both national and state level in SBAC, the state wants us to use an additional accountability measure to make sure that we're hitting the growth marks and the grade level standard marks. So instead of 1 time a year that we're required to test to measure that, we now have to do it 4 times a year.
Can we just give the state our graduation rate?
I would love to do that, because our internal standards-based grading process is in fact covering those gaps in alignment with the Common Core standards. But no, that doesn't cut it, because unfortunately, not every school district is like us in guaranteeing high levels of learning for all kids.
All right, I'm just gonna ask this, since I feel like I should know this as a school board member and I don't. So now we have 3
Interim.
Interim.
Yep.
What is the word interim? What's the significance of it?
It's basically, think of it like a pulse check or checking your oil to.
Oh, it's
see
not
if it-
interim, like we're just doing it this year, and then next year they're gonna
No,
change their
yeah,
mind.
it's interim meaning like in the middle of, or,
Okay.
yep,
They could take anywhere from a couple days to a week potentially in a classroom to
Yep.
administer and do our thing.
Yep.
And then we have the SBAC that was once, but now is 4 times.
yep.
And I imagine that's as intensive as far as timeframes and,
The SBAC is just still one time, but that one time plus the 3 times, now we're doing the interim. We do the interim 3 times now, and then SBAC is 1 time. So 4 total standardized assessments, correct?
Okay.
In addition to that, we're also assessing each unit, each level of grade level standard in our classrooms. So there will be significant increase in assessments in our organization, which is fine. We want to know where our kids are, but that does leave less time for teachers to teach, and more time for teachers to measure.
okay.
But that's out of our control. That's a state mandate coming directly from the governor's office. Of course, we're gonna comply with that, and we're gonna work hard to do all of that. And I think we'll be pleased with the results of how our kids are doing.
Okay, thank you.
Do we expect higher opt-out rates on SBAC because of the additional assessments?
No, only because our opt-out rates are already pretty high, as they are now. In fact, our middle school opt-out rate was gigantic this year, and so even the data that it's going to show has an asterisk by it due to the lack of participation in that area. And while we are for SBAC, and we love trying to measure our students in comparison with other students across the United States of America, again, the state of Oregon has required this test and also, on the same hand, allowed parents to opt out of that test without consequence. And so it's just a really tricky one. And this is why we're where we are with 3 MAPS tests, which won't be opted out.
All right. Any other questions? Good discussion? All right, all in favor?
And, go ahead, do your vote, and then I've got one more comment.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
Yeah, I do want to just recognize our teaching and learning department and our instructional coaches and the teachers who were a part of that process. This has been a long work in progress. It was difficult to arrive at this decision, and I'm just really pleased at the hard work that they did to put us in this spot.
I would also say that I got a lot of pressure from a middle school trial
Yeah,
to not take that test.
yes,
And if I didn't know any better, like he's passing all his classes.
right,
Right? So that like, Mom, I'm doing all the stuff I'm supposed to do, don't make me take the test.
yeah,
I could see how easy it would be to be like, you don't have to.
yeah. No, it's
You don't know better.
there's a real pressure from the kids to not take that test, and it is very public. As the superintendent of Estacada Public Schools, I too had kids ask if they could not take that test, and of course, that was a non-starter.
Good luck.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a real thing.
All right, on to item L, resolution 2526-3.
Chair Idell, I move to adopt and amend appropriation expenditure level for general fund, the special revenue fund, and the debt service fund for the 2025-26 fiscal year as presented and in compliance with Oregon budget law.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Do we have questions? Do you want to talk briefly, Scott? Did you want to pull that up maybe? or-
Sure, it's up
Oh,
on
it's
your,
up.
yeah, it's up on your screen right there. This is a resolution. It looks maybe a little different than the way you've done this amendment in the past. This is just a format that I prefer. It's easier for me to put it together to see how everything must balance. As we know that the revenues always must equal the expenditures when you're dealing with any kind of resolution dealing with the budget. So subsequently, what we had briefly talked about is we were forced to do this anytime we have any revenue that comes in by section higher than we have budgeted for. That allows us to adopt and appropriate that amount of money, and that essentially allows us to spend it. So we had more money coming in the state school fund, for instance, and because of our higher enrollment at the charter school as well. And so that money came in, And for us to be able to actually spend that money, it needs to be appropriated. We do this in this resolution every year when we do an amendment of the current year budget. And so that's what this particular form is. One of the other things that this does is it also recognizes that we may need some money from a special revenue fund, namely mostly the PERS Reserve Fund, but some other funds that we're not using anymore, that we may need to use that to bolster that general fund ending fund balance number that I mentioned earlier this evening. So subsequently, this resolution does that. What it does is it officially amends our budget. Because each of the fund groupings, 100, 200, 300, et cetera, because those are not impacted by more than 10%, you're able to do that by resolution as opposed to reconvening the budget committee. If we were to make larger changes, I mean significantly large changes to this budget, then the process would be a supplemental budget hearing and resolution. But because we're under 10% rule by fund category, we're able to do this simply by resolution. You've done this multiple times before. I think in the, probably in the last 10 years in my prior district, we did this 9 times. So it's quite common. If there's any questions about the balance or where the funds are coming from, I'm happy to answer those. I know it's not very clear here, but it's a lot of movement of resource.
Any questions?
No.
Okay, great. Thanks, Scott. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, moved, seconded, discussed. All in favor, raise your right hand.
Carries.
On to item M, Resolution 2526-4.
Okay, the Resolution 2526-4 is a resolution which adopts and appropriates your budget for next year. This is again, another common process. We must do this every year. The state law says that we have to do this by June 30th. Every year, essentially, you have received an approved budget. It was approved by the Budget Committee last month. And so that is what our budget status is currently. Upon making a motion or approving the resolution, and it is important that the resolution be read in whole, both on the adopting the budget side and the appropriation side. You can do that in 1 vote or 2 votes, it's up to you. But that resolution must be read and then adopted by that, and that just simply adopts and appropriates the budget. It is doing that in this screen here, which is also in your packet. This is how we actually adopt and appropriate the budget. This is by broad fund category, both on the revenue side and on the expenditure side.
Okay, thank you, Scott. So we need a motion.
Chair Adele, I move to adopt the budget for fiscal year 2026, 2027 totaling $76,599,276 in aggregate, now on file at the Estacada School District Central Office.
Second.
Moved and seconded. I know we discussed this at length last month with the entire budget committee and all of that. Any other discussion that we want to have? Okay. That's it, right? Okay.
Yep.
All in favor, raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
On to item N, Resolution 2526-5.
26-5. So this is the resolution imposing and categorizing the taxes. So this also is a requirement to be done by June 30th as the governing body of the school district of Estacada. You must categorize the tax. The only tax that you are categorizing today is what's called the permanent rate. This is in effect from Measure 5, Measure 50, a number of years ago, which essentially allowed districts to have a permanent tax rate. This is the amount of money, the rate that we send out to the assessor's office, and they put that on your tax bill. So this is the money that we get in property tax for operations, nothing to do with the bond. So So that's essentially what this is. We do this every year. The permanent rate is just that. It stays permanent. We don't have the ability to adjust it one way or another, but it just is a formality to do.
Perfect. Thank you, Scott. Do I get a motion?
Chair Idell, I move that the Board of Directors of the Estacada School District hereby imposes the taxes and categorizes the taxes as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Thank you for the explanation. Any questions? Comments? All right, all in favor, raise your right hand.
Motion carries.
On to item O, to approve a resolution to amend the current year budget appropriation.
That's already been done.
Oh, that's already been done. Thank you.
Yep.
I thought it.
Apologize, it looks like it's been on there twice.
Okay. Hearing of citizens for non-action items.
None.
None? Okay. One comment before we close. I know I mentioned it last month, but we will recess, the board will recess in July, so there will not be a board meeting in the month of July, and we will reconvene in August. So, all right, that's it. Thank you all very much. Have a good night.